are going to take it in turns to present to you this morning to give you a little bit of an overview about what we offer. And also, now I will make sure that I introduce myself as well. My name is Laura. I work for the Faculty of Business, Economics and Law at the University of Queensland. So it's my pleasure to introduce those of you who are interested, and it's great to see that so many of you are still online to learn a little bit more about Brisbane, which is where obviously Peter and I are located today, and the Queensland Global Pathways opportunity. Now, I do always like to put a little map on there because I never like to assume that everybody knows exactly where Brisbane might be located. But Brisbane is the capital city of Queensland, and Australia is made up of varying states and territories. So if you choose to come on over, you'd be flying hopefully into Brisbane or one of the other major cities and then coming into Brisbane as well. Now, the University of Queensland actually has 4 different campuses, but you would be studying the accounting program at our St Lucia campus, which is only about 7 kilometres away from the centre of Brisbane. And that's one of my favourite pictures that you can see on the screen in front of you as well. That is a beautiful Brisbane River that meanders all throughout the city area and actually comes over to the campus as well. And part of our public transport system is not only the trains and the buses, but you can see one of the fast moving ferries, or what we call a city cat, on the river there in front of you as well. And I actually live along the water, so it's beautiful. I can actually catch the city cat if I want to, coming to the campus every day. Now, for those of you that also don't know much about Brisbane, we're actually the 3rd largest city in Australia. I think our population is roughly about 2.3 million people. Australia is not so big in terms of population. There's probably about 25 million in Australia, but Brisbane is the 3rd largest, and it's certainly the fastest growing cities. You might have heard cost of living is quite expensive in Australia, much like the rest of the world as well. Brisbane, though, still has a lot of benefits and a lot of student discounts for you to enjoy if you come on over and join us as well. Now, we are also what we call very multicultural. About 1/3 of all of the inhabitants in Brisbane weren't actually born here. So please don't be worried that you won't get to meet people from a range of different countries, because you absolutely will. That is one of the benefits about living, studying, and spending some time in Brisbane, that you get to meet so many wonderful people. And very cosmopolitan. So lots of things that you can do if you love to eat, plenty of cafes and restaurants that you can take, sample, gallery of modern art, museums, lots of different cultural things that you can really get involved with. Now, I am a little bit biased. I do think Brisbane is one of the loveliest places that you could actually be in Australia. I was born here, so I can be a little bit biased in regards to that. And I've already mentioned that we're very multicultural, and it's a very inclusive culture and society here in Australia and in Brisbane as well. Very relaxed. I would say that's probably one of the biggest differences when you actually look at something like a city like Sydney and Melbourne. Brisbane is certainly very warm and friendly. And Peter, did you want to add something?
Yeah, just want to let you know, it's actually there's a suburb here called Inala, and this is a Vietnamese suburb. You can get all Vietnamese food in Brisbane, so you won't miss anything in Brisbane at all. Yeah, it's called Inala. It's a suburb in Brisbane. There's like 4 Vietnamese people here.
Yeah, great point,
Yeah.
Peter. Absolutely. And I know for a lot of people and our students, they worry that they won't be able to get the same food that they get back home. But as you've mentioned, Anala really is a great community, lots of fabulous food being served, and not too far away from the campus. You can easily catch the train to get there as well. So thanks, Peter, for reminding me about that. Definitely worth it. Now, a few other little things that maybe you didn't know about Brisbane. We're actually hosting the Olympic and the Paralympic Games in 2032. Fabulous, lots of things happening. And over the next few years, as we head into those sort of years, there'll certainly be a lot more happening around the city, and infrastructure is definitely booming at the moment. A little bit about Brisbane, top 50 greatest places. I would certainly agree with that as well. And very mild temperatures. That's why a lot of people actually really love Queensland, known as the Sunshine State. And it is really also because we have very mild winter. I am wearing a jumper today. It's been a little bit windy outside, but as I mentioned right at the beginning, for those of you that were here, it is still roughly about 20 degrees and we're in the middle of winter, my favorite time of the year. So certainly it does get a little bit hot. I think you guys are having maybe 31 or 32 degrees today. That is similar temperature to what we get in Brisbane as well later in the year. So don't worry, very similar aspects there as well. Now, a little bit about the University of Queensland, and I should mention we do like to shorten a lot of our words. So UQ is what you'll also hear us known as. So a little bit about the University of Queensland, ranked in the top 50 in the world. So either top 50, top 100, depending on which sort of rankings that you might be interested in. So it's the latest QS rankings that we probably look more closely at. And as you can see, when that came out about a month or so ago, they ranked UQ as a top 40 institution. So we're really proud of that. We are what they call a research intensive university. So within Australia, there are 8 leading universities, and the University of Queensland is part of that group of 8 institutions, similar to the Russell Group in the United Kingdom and the Ivy League universities in the US. That's how we would position ourselves. So if studying at a top-ranked institution is really important to you, then please consider the Queensland Global Pathway and the University of Queensland. Now, I mentioned very multicultural, not only in Brisbane, but here on the campus as well. So we have a student population of over 55,000 students. And I would say roughly UQ probably has around about 25, 26% of international students. Certainly those that are studying the business and the commerce areas like you're interested in, we have a lot of students, both undergrad and postgrad from all around the world. So you'll be in very good company if you decided to join us. And look, one of the most beautiful campuses, absolutely. This is our main campus, St. Lucia. So if you are doing a little bit of research and you're having a look at a few different things, this is where you would be located to do our commerce degree with that accounting major. You can see it's very large, and because it is O Week, there's lots of students who've downloaded the latest Navigator map. They're making their way around campus to really have a good look at everything, and it does take a little bit of time to get used to. So we always recommend that if you can arrive in O Week and get your bearings and make sure that you know where you're going, then that sets you up really well for when you're looking at your classes and where to find your classrooms. And you can see that beautiful Brisbane River that stretches around. You can see that CBD, so where all those high-rise buildings are in the background, that's really only 7 kilometres from where we are. So we do have a lot of students that live around the campus, but also in the surrounding suburbs, even some a little bit further out where Peter mentioned in Inala as well. So we know a lot of our students have family and friends here too. And then, of course, if you prefer to be in the city, there is, of course, lots of accommodation there as well. Now, these are just some beautiful pictures of the campus. It is rather green at the moment, which is really nice. Sometimes Australia does go through a bit of a drought, and especially in Brisbane, but you can see it's all beautifully fresh, and those beautiful purple jacarandas usually bloom when you're heading sort of into your mid-semester exams in about September, October. So it looks beautiful on the campus, but it's a little bit of a reminder of your exam times as well. So a few other little things that I wanted to mention, and I know that Peter touched a little bit on our employability and careers team. It's not just the degree or the courses that you're coming over to study. If you choose a country like Australia, it's about networking and meeting some wonderful people. It's about connecting with a lot of our current students and becoming one of our wonderful alumni. So taking your degree and working back home or in other parts of the world. We really want you to have a good time while you're here. So we want you to get involved in lots of things. Join. I think we have over 220 different clubs and societies. So definitely join a few clubs and societies. We make sure you've got a balanced timetable so you've got room to independently work on your assessment and anything that's due. State-of-the-art facilities, highly awarded teachers, more national teaching awards than any other Australian university, and of course a research intensive, but we do make sure that you have the practical elements. And I know that's really important when you think about the opportunities for internships and placements. And Peter touched on that as well, and you certainly have those opportunities. So once again, just a recap, it's our Bachelor of Commerce that offers the accounting major. We do have some other programs, and business management would be our other program that we've mapped for the Queensland Global Pathways option. So depending on your career outcome, but for those of you that are considering accounting, then it is the commerce program that you would need to think about. Just some of our latest rankings as well that I wanted to put in there. So very highly regarded when it comes to accounting and finance and management at the University of Queensland. And last but not least, we do have a couple of students that are actually here already from their Queensland Global Pathway. Crystal joined us last year and she's doing our commerce program. Now, she did not decide to do accounting, but we won't hold that against her. Crystal is actually doing business analytics as part of her program and her chosen major within the degree. So I know she's having a great time. I know she's already working part-time as well while she's studying. So certainly we can connect you with other ISB students who are here. And Crystal kindly helped out earlier in the year when I was in Vietnam and was online to answer questions as well.